The one-page marketing plan. Get new customers, make more money, and stand out from the crowd, by Allan Dib. Introduction. I want you to picture something for me. Imagine a man, a brilliant musician, one of the finest in the world. His name is Joshua Bell. He plays a violin that was handcrafted in the year 1713, a Stradivarius worth over $3.5 million. When he performs in the grand concert halls of Boston, people pay hundreds of dollars for a single ticket, just for the privilege of hearing him play. On a night like that, he can earn over $1,000 a minute. Now, I want you to imagine that same man, with that same priceless violin, standing in a busy subway station on a cold January morning. He's dressed in simple clothes, with his violin case open at his feet, playing the most beautiful, complex classical masterpieces ever written. Thousands of people rush past him on their way to work. They hear the music, but they don't see the master. For an entire hour, he pours his heart and soul into his performance. And at the end of that hour, how much do you think he made? Just $32. The same man. The same instrument. The same breathtaking music. In one setting, he's a celebrated artist earning $60,000 an hour. In another, he's just background noise, barely noticed. What made the difference? It wasn't his talent. It wasn't his product. It was one single, powerful idea: positioning. It was how he was presented to the world. And that, right there, is the heart of what we're going to talk about today. We're diving into a book called The One-Page Marketing Plan by a remarkable entrepreneur named Allan Dib. This isn't just another dusty business book filled with complicated theories. This is a roadmap. It's a guide that has quietly become a phenomenon, an Amazon bestseller that has helped thousands of small business owners go from feeling lost and overwhelmed to having absolute clarity. Why? Because Allan Dib understands something fundamental. He knows that most businesses fail not because their product is bad, but because their marketing is broken. They spend their money like a blindfolded archer, shooting arrows into a dense fog and just hoping to hit something. But what if you could have a laser? What if you could have a simple, single sheet of paper that acts as a blueprint for attracting new customers, making more money, and standing out from the crowd, just like the title promises? That's the bold promise of this book, and it's the promise I'm making to you today. Over the next hour or so, we're going to unpack this brilliant system. We're going to see why trying to be everything to everyone is a recipe for failure, how to craft a message that makes your ideal customer feel like you're reading their mind, and why the real money isn't just in getting a customer, but in creating a lifelong fan. So, whether you dream of starting your own business one day, or you're just curious about how the world of buying and selling really works, stick with me. Because the lessons in this book aren't just about business. They're about understanding people, they're about creating value, and they're about learning how to build something that truly matters. Book summary. Let's start with a simple, and perhaps uncomfortable, truth. The legendary salesman Zig Ziglar once said, "Money isn't everything." But it ranks right up there with oxygen. And as Allan Dib points out, nothing, absolutely nothing, kills a business faster than running out of that oxygen. So many people start a business with a passion. A baker loves to bake. A mechanic loves to fix cars. A writer loves to write. They're what Michael Gerber, in his classic book The E-Myth, calls the technician. They are brilliant at the technical thing that they do. And one day, they have what Gerber calls an entrepreneurial seizure. They think, "I'm so good at this, why am I working for someone else? I'll start my own business." And this, right here, is the first major mistake. Because being good at baking bread doesn't mean you're good at the business of selling bread. You go from working for a boss to becoming the boss, and suddenly you're not just a baker anymore. You're a bookkeeper, a manager, a janitor, and most importantly, a marketer. And it's the lack of skill in that last role that causes most businesses to slowly suffocate. This book, at its core, is a manual for becoming a marketer. But not the kind you might be thinking of. Not the slick, big city advertising executive with $1 million budget. It's about a specific, powerful, and much smarter way of marketing called direct response marketing. To understand the difference, Allan Dib gives us a wonderful little story. Imagine the circus is coming to town. If you paint a sign that says, "Circus coming to the showground Saturday," that's advertising. If you put that sign on the back of an elephant and walk it through town, that's promotion. If the elephant walks through the mayor's flower bed and the local newspaper writes a story about it, that's publicity. And if you get the mayor to laugh about it, that's public relations. If the town's citizens come to the circus, and you show them all the fun booths and explain how they can spend their money and have a great time, that's sales. But if you plan the whole thing, from start to finish, that's marketing. Marketing is the grand strategy. Everything else, the ads, the promotions, the social media posts, those are just tactics. And here's the second giant mistake that small businesses make. They look at huge successful companies like Coca-Cola, Nike, or Apple, and they try to copy their marketing. This, Allan says, is the fastest way to fail. Why? For two simple reasons. First, large companies have a completely different agenda. Their marketing priorities are things like pleasing the board of directors, winning creative awards, and satisfying shareholders. Making a profit is on the list, but it's often way down at the bottom. For a small business owner, what's the number one priority? Making a profit. Period. Second, and this is the big one, large companies have a completely different budget. They practice what's called mass marketing or branding. The idea is to spend millions and millions of dollars to saturate the airwaves and billboards so that their brand is always at the top of your mind. It's a war of attrition, and it works if you have an atomic bomb-sized budget. But for a small business with a tiny marketing budget, trying to play this game is like a kid peeing in the ocean. It's a drop in the bucket that will be totally wasted and ineffective. So, what's the alternative? This is where the magic begins. The answer is direct response marketing. This isn't about getting your name out there. It's about getting an immediate, measurable response from a specific group of people. It's about turning marketing from a gamble, like a slot machine, into a predictable system, like a vending machine. You put $1 in, and you know you're going to get more than $1 out. Direct response marketing has a few key characteristics. It's trackable. You always know which ad brought in a customer. It's measurable. You can calculate your exact return on investment. It makes a specific offer to a specific audience. It's not for everyone. And most importantly, it demands a response. It has a clear call to action, compelling the prospect to do something right now. This entire philosophy is distilled into a single, elegant tool, the one-page marketing plan. It's a canvas with 9 simple squares, divided into 3 acts, just like a great movie or a play. These are the before, during, and after phases of a customer's journey with your business. Let's walk through this journey together. Act 1. The before phase, the prospect. In the before phase, you're dealing with prospects. These are people who, for the most part, don't even know you exist. The goal of this act is to get them to know who you are and raise their hand to show they're interested. This phase consists of the first 3 squares on our plan. Square 1, my target market. The first and most common mistake in marketing is trying to sell to everyone. In reality, that means you're selling to no one. Imagine you have a 100-watt light bulb. It can light up a room. But if you take that same 100 watts of energy and focus it into a laser, it can cut through steel. Same energy, dramatically different result. The difference is focus. That's the power of choosing a niche. A niche is a tightly defined portion of a market. For example, instead of being a general photographer, you could be a photographer who specializes in weddings. But you can go even deeper. You could be a photographer who specializes in outdoor weddings in a specific geographical area. Now your message becomes incredibly relevant to a very specific group of people. An ad that speaks directly to a bride-to-be planning an outdoor wedding will grab her attention far more effectively than a generic ad listing a dozen different photography services. When you specialize, you become a big fish in a small pond. And something magical happens. Price becomes irrelevant. If you have a heart attack, do you want a general doctor or a heart specialist? You'd choose the specialist, and you'd expect to pay more, without even thinking about it. By narrowing your focus, you transform yourself from a commodity that's shopped on price into a sought-after specialist. So how do you find your perfect niche? Allan Dib suggests a simple tool called the PVP Index: personal fulfillment, value to the marketplace, and profitability. You rate each potential market segment you serve on a scale of 1 to 10 for each of these three categories. P. Personal fulfillment. How much do you genuinely enjoy working with these customers? V. Value to the marketplace. How much do they value and are willing to pay for what you do? P. Profitability. How profitable is the work you do for them, really? By doing this exercise, a standout market will almost always emerge. That's your laser focus. Once you know who you're talking to, you have to get inside their head. You need to understand them so well that you can describe their problems better than they can. What keeps them awake at night? What are they angry about? What do they secretly desire more than anything else? The best way to do this is to create an avatar, a detailed profile of your ideal customer. Give them a name, an age, a job, a family. What does their daily life look like? What are their frustrations and aspirations? This isn't just a theoretical exercise. This avatar becomes your guide. Every piece of marketing you create, you'll create it with this one person in mind. Square 2. My message to my target market. Now that you know who you're talking to, you need to figure out what to say. Most advertising is boring. It's just name, rank, and serial number. It lists the company name, the logo, and a bunch of services. This is what Allan calls marketing by accident. You're just hoping someone who needs you right now happens to see your ad. To market on purpose, you need a message that enters the conversation already going on in your prospect's mind. This starts with developing a unique selling proposition, or USP. Your USP is the simple, clear answer to one critical question: why should I buy from you rather than from your nearest competitor? And quality or great service are not good answers. Those are expectations, not differentiators. A good USP forces an apples to oranges comparison. For example, Domino's Pizza didn't promise the best pizza. They promised fresh, hot pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed. That was a USP. It was unique, specific, and it addressed a customer's pain point: hunger and impatience. Your message needs to be built around an irresistible offer. This is far more than just a 10% discount. A truly irresistible offer is packed with value. It might include valuable bonuses, a payment plan to make it more affordable, an element of scarcity to encourage immediate action, and most importantly, an outrageous guarantee. A guarantee shouldn't be a weak satisfaction guaranteed. It should be a powerful risk reversal. It should make the customer feel like they have absolutely nothing to lose. For example, an IT company could guarantee to fix a problem the first time, to always speak in plain English, and to return calls within 15 minutes. And if they fail on any of those promises, they'll credit back double the billable amount. This kind of guarantee builds massive trust. Finally, the words you use matter. This is the art of copywriting. You can't bore people into buying from you. You need to use emotional, compelling language that grabs their attention. Headlines are crucial. They're the ad for your ad. Think of classic headlines like, "They laughed when I sat down at the piano. But when I started to play." That headline tells a story, creates an emotion, and makes you want to know what happens next. That's the power of great copy. It pushes emotional hot buttons like fear, love, greed, guilt, and pride. Square 3. The media I will use to reach my target market. You have your target market and your message. Now you need a vehicle to deliver that message. This is your advertising media. This could be anything from email marketing and social media to direct postal mail and radio ads. The most important rule here is this: what gets measured, gets managed. You have to stop guessing and start tracking. You need to know your numbers. The most important number is your customer acquisition cost. How much does it cost you, in advertising dollars, to get one new customer? Let's say you spend $300 on a direct mail campaign that brings in 2 new customers. Your customer acquisition cost is $150. If the profit you make from each customer is only $100, then you have a losing campaign. But if your profit is $600, you have a winning campaign. Once you find a marketing channel that works, one where you're putting in $150 and getting out $600, why would you ever limit your budget? You would pour as much money as you possibly could into that legal money printing press. This brings us to another critical concept: the lifetime value of a customer. Maybe you only make $100 in profit on that first sale, the front end, but that same customer goes on to buy from you again and again over the next few years, the back end. Suddenly, a campaign that looked like a loser on the front end becomes a massive winner when you consider the total lifetime value. Understanding this number is one of the biggest secrets of high-growth businesses. It's also crucial not to put all your eggs in one basket. Allan calls the number 1 the most dangerous number in your business. If you rely on only one source of leads, say, Google search, and Google changes its algorithm, your business could be wiped out overnight. Smart businesses build multiple streams of leads. Allan recommends having at least 5 different sources. This makes your business resilient and anti-fragile. Act 2. The during phase, the lead. We now move into the second act. A prospect has seen your message and has responded. They've raised their hand. They are no longer a prospect, they are now a lead. In this phase, they've shown interest, and our goal is to get them to like you and buy from you for the very first time. Square 4. My lead capture system. This is where we shift from being a hunter to being a farmer. A hunter wakes up every day needing to find and kill something to eat. Some days are good, some days are bad. It's a constant, high-pressure battle. A farmer, on the other hand, plants seeds, nurtures them, and then enjoys a predictable, reliable harvest. Most businesses market like hunters. Their ads scream, "Buy now." They're trying to make a sale directly from the ad. But here's a crucial statistic. At any given time, only about 3% of your market is ready to buy immediately. If your advertising is only focused on that 3%, you're ignoring the other 97% of the market. There's another 7% who are very open to buying, and another 30% who are interested but not right now. That's a huge pool of potential customers you're missing. So, instead of trying to sell from your ad, the purpose of your advertising should be to generate leads. You want to find people who are interested and capture their information so you can follow up with them. How do you do this? With an ethical bribe. You offer something of high value for free in exchange for their contact information. This could be a free report, a DVD, a checklist, or a video series. For example, a wedding photographer could offer a free guide titled, "The 7 Costly Mistakes to Avoid When Choosing a Photographer for Your Wedding Day." Anyone who requests that guide is identifying themselves as a high-probability prospect. By doing this, you instantly increase your addressable market from 3% to 40%. You're now capturing not just the immediate buyers, but also those who are open to buying and those who are interested for the future. You're planting seeds. This information, the names, emails, and phone numbers of interested people, goes into your database, which Allan calls your goldmine. This database, often managed with a CRM, customer relationship management system, is the central hub of your marketing infrastructure. Square 5, my lead nurturing system. You've captured a lead. Now what? The money, as they say, is in the follow-up. But most salespeople are terrible at this. Statistics show that half of all salespeople give up after just one contact. This is where we meet the world's greatest salesman, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, Joe Girard. Between 1963 and 1978, he sold over 13,000 cars, one at a time, from a single Chevrolet dealership. On his best day, he sold 18 cars. How did he do it? It wasn't through slick closing techniques. His secret was simple but profound. He constantly stayed in touch with his customers. Every single month, he sent a personalized greeting card to his entire list of customers. In January, it was a Happy New Year card. In February, a Valentine's Day card. Inside, the message was always the same: "I like you." He did this month after month, year after year. He knew that people would eventually need a new car, and when they did, he wanted to be the first person they thought of. By the end of his career, 2/3 of his sales were from repeat customers. He had built a pipeline. This is the essence of lead nurturing. It's about building a relationship and providing value before you ask for the sale. You send them regular, helpful information, a newsletter, useful tips, articles. You're positioning yourself as an expert and an educator, not a pushy salesperson. You are becoming a welcome guest, not a pest. One of the most powerful nurturing tools Allan describes is the shock and awe package. Imagine a prospect requests more information from you. Instead of just sending an email with a PDF, what if they received a physical box in the mail a day or two later? Inside is a book you wrote, a DVD, testimonials from happy clients, helpful reports, and maybe even a small, thoughtful gift. This one move annihilates your competition. While your competitors are being cheap and efficient, you are being memorable, remarkable, and creating a mind-blowingly amazing first impression. Square 6, my sales conversion strategy. By this point, if you've done your nurturing correctly, the sale should be the next logical step. Your leads are already pre-framed, pre-motivated, and pre-interested. The key to converting them into customers is trust. The problem is, most prospects have been burned before. They've been bitten by bad experiences, and now they think all businesses are out to get them. You're not starting at zero, you're starting in negative territory. You are guilty until proven innocent. So how do you manufacture trust? First, as we've discussed, you educate. You position yourself as a trusted advisor, a doctor who diagnoses problems and prescribes solutions. Second, you present yourself professionally. Your website, your email address, your phone system, all these small details signal whether you're a trustworthy professional or a fly-by-night operator. Third, you offer that outrageous guarantee. By taking all the risk on yourself, you make it incredibly easy for the customer to say yes. Pricing is also a critical part of your conversion strategy. Don't just copy your competitors or add a standard markup. Your price is a positioning tool. One powerful strategy is to offer 3 options: a standard option, a premium option, and an ultra-high ticket item. The ultra-high ticket item does 2 things. First, a small percentage of people will always want to buy the absolute best, and you'll capture that market. Second, it makes your other options seem much more reasonably priced by comparison. Finally, make it easy for people to buy. Many businesses have what feels like a sales prevention department. They have complicated forms, they don't accept certain credit cards, or they make you jump through hoops. Your job is to remove every ounce of friction from the buying process. Offer payment plans. Let people try before they buy with a free trial. What Allan calls the puppy dog close. Once you take the puppy home, you're never going to bring it back. Act 3. The after phase, the customer. The sale has been made. For most businesses, this is where the marketing stops. For a truly remarkable business, this is where it really begins. In the after phase, you're dealing with customers. They've already paid you money. The goal now is to get them to trust you so deeply that they buy from you regularly and become raving fans who refer others to you. This is where you build your tribe. Square 7. How I deliver a world-class experience. You don't just want customers, you want a tribe of raving fans. A tribe is a group of people connected to you, to each other, and to your idea. They are your cheerleaders, actively conspiring for your success. Look at a company like Apple. They don't have customers, they have a tribe. People line up for days to buy their new products. That's not because of advertising, it's because of the world-class experience they consistently deliver. How do you create this? First, you sell them what they want, but you give them what they need. People might want a magic pill for weight loss, but what they need is a sustainable plan for diet and exercise. Your job is to package what they need inside of what they want. And more than that, you need to help them get results. A customer who buys your product but never uses it is not a success story. They're a potential bad review waiting to happen. Your goal is to guide them all the way to their desired outcome. You also need to create a sense of theater around your product. Business, according to the great management thinker Peter Drucker, only has 2 basic functions: marketing and innovation. Even if you sell something boring, you can innovate in how you deliver it. Look at Blendtec, a company that makes ordinary kitchen blenders. They created a viral YouTube series called Will It Blend?, where they blend everything from iPhones to golf balls. It's pure theater, and it turned a boring product into an internet sensation. The secret to delivering this kind of experience consistently is systems. A business without systems relies on the heroic efforts of individuals. It's not scalable, and it's not sellable. A business with systems can be run by ordinary people and still produce extraordinary results. Think of McDonald's. It's a multi-billion-dollar global empire run by teenagers, all because they have a system for everything, down to the exact number of pickles on a Big Mac. Your job as an entrepreneur is to create systems for the 4 key areas of your business: marketing, sales, fulfillment, and administration. Document your processes. Create checklists. The ultimate goal is to build a business that can run without you. Ask yourself this question: if you went away for 6 months, would your business be in better or worse shape when you returned? If the answer is worse, or that you wouldn't have a business left, then you don't own a business, you own a job. And it's a job that has become a self-made prison. Systems are the key to your freedom. Square 8. How I increase customer lifetime value. This is where you find your acres of diamonds. There's an old story about a farmer who sold his land to search the world for diamonds, only to die poor and alone. Meanwhile, the man who bought his farm discovered the world's most magnificent diamond mine right there in the backyard. The moral is simple: your greatest treasure is often right under your feet. For a business, that treasure is your existing customer base. It is infinitely easier and more profitable to sell more to an existing customer than it is to find a new one. Allan outlines 5 major ways to do this. 1. Raise prices. Most businesses are afraid to do this, but your customers are far less price sensitive than you think, especially if you're delivering a great experience. 2. Upselling. This is the "would you like fries with that?" strategy. When someone is already in a buying state of mind, it's the perfect time to offer a complimentary, high-margin add-on. 3. Ascension. Create a clear path for your customers to move up to your higher-priced, higher-value products and services. 4. Frequency. Find ways to get your customers to buy from you more often. This could be through reminders, loyalty programs, or turning your product into a subscription service, like the Dollar Shave Club did with razor blades. 5. Reactivation. Reach out to past customers who haven't bought from you in a while with a special "we miss you" offer to win them back. It's also critical to understand that not all revenue is good revenue. You have to avoid what Allan calls polluted revenue. He divides customers into 4 types. The tribe, your raving fans. This is healthy revenue. The churners, customers who can't really afford you and will leave quickly. The vampires, customers who can afford you, but you can't afford them. They suck up a disproportionate amount of your time and resources. The snow leopards, your biggest, most wonderful customers. They're beautiful but so rare they're almost impossible to replicate, making them a poor growth strategy. Your goal is to grow your tribe and, as difficult as it may sound, to fire your problem customers. The 20% of customers who cause 80% of your headaches are not only unprofitable, but they're also taking your attention away from the loyal tribe members who deserve it. Square 9. How I orchestrate and stimulate referrals. The final square brings us full circle. The best kind of new prospect is one who comes to you via a referral from a happy customer. But you can't just hope for this to happen. You have to actively orchestrate and stimulate it. Many business owners are afraid to ask for referrals because they don't want to seem needy. But you're not asking for a favor. You're creating an opportunity for your happy customer to look good by helping out a friend. So, you ask. But you do it strategically. You might say something like, "Mr. Customer, I'm so glad you're happy with our work. We get most of our new business from wonderful clients like you. Here are a couple of gift cards, each worth $100 off, that you can give to anyone you know who might also benefit from what we do." You're not asking for a handout, you're giving them a gift to share. Another powerful strategy is to create joint ventures with non-competing businesses that serve the same target market. Who has your customer right before you do? If you're a pet food retailer, it's the veterinarian. You could create an arrangement where the vet gives every new client a $50 gift card to your store. The vet looks like a hero, the customer gets an unexpected gift, and you get a new, highly qualified customer for the cost of the voucher. It's a win-win-win. Ultimately, all of this, delivering a world-class experience and orchestrating referrals, is what truly builds your brand. A brand isn't a logo or a slogan. A brand, in its simplest form, is the personality of your business. And that personality is forged not in fancy ad campaigns, but in the thousands of small, positive interactions you have with your customers. You build your brand one happy customer, one world-class experience, and one enthusiastic referral at a time. And that is how you go from being just another business to becoming the only choice. Commentary. As we step back and look at the entire landscape Allan Dib has painted for us, what really stands out is a powerful, liberating sense of clarity. So much of the business world feels complex, intimidating, and shrouded in mystery. We're told to follow our passion, but we're not given a map for how to turn that passion into something that can actually support us. We see giant corporations with their flashy Super Bowl ads and assume that's what marketing is supposed to be, a game only the rich can play. What the one-page marketing plan does is it pulls back the curtain. It takes this huge, scary monster called marketing and breaks it down into 9 simple, logical steps. It's a system. And the beauty of a system is that it's repeatable. It's predictable. It's something you can control. It transforms marketing from an art form that only a few creative geniuses can master into a science that anyone with discipline and a willingness to learn can apply. The most profound lesson in this book, I believe, is the fundamental shift in mindset it demands. It asks you to stop thinking of yourself as a baker, or a writer, or a mechanic who just happens to own a business. It asks you to start thinking of yourself as a marketer who owns a bakery, a writing business, or a garage. This is not just a change in title, it's a change in identity. It's the recognition that the best product in the world is useless if no one knows about it, trusts it, or understands why they should choose it. The best marketer will always beat the best product. And this isn't a cynical view. It's a deeply ethical one. Because at its heart, the kind of marketing this book teaches isn't about manipulation or hype. It's about empathy. It's about deeply understanding a specific group of people's problems and pains, and then genuinely trying to solve them. It's about educating before you sell, giving value before you ask for anything in return, and building relationships based on trust. It reframes selling not as a conquest, but as an act of service. For someone your age, on the cusp of building your own future, this is an incredibly powerful set of tools. You may not be starting a business tomorrow, but the principles in this book apply to almost everything. Want to convince your parents to let you go on that trip? You need to target market them, a message why it's a safe and valuable experience, and a medium, a well-thought-out conversation, not a last-minute plea. Want to get that internship or first job? You need to understand the company's pain points, craft a message, your resume, and interview that positions you as the solution, and follow up with a nurturing system, a thank you note. So, what can you do with this today? Here are a couple of simple actions you can take, right now, to start building this marketing muscle. First, create an avatar. Think of a problem you'd love to solve one day. Maybe it's helping teenagers feel more confident, or making it easier for people to learn a new language. Now, create an avatar for the person you want to help. Give them a name. How old are they? What do they worry about when they can't sleep? What does a typical day look like for them? The act of stepping into someone else's shoes is the beginning of all great marketing. Second, craft your elevator pitch. The next time someone asks you, "What are you passionate about?" or "What do you want to do after school?" don't just give them a one-word answer. Use the formula, "You know how problem? Well, what I'm interested in is solution." In fact, proof or personal story. This simple framework will force you to think with clarity and communicate with impact. This book is more than just a plan for marketing. It's a plan for building something of value. It's a guide to creating a system that not only brings you financial success but also gives you the freedom to live life on your own terms. It teaches you that the path to success isn't about having one brilliant, original idea. It's about modeling what works, testing, measuring, and relentlessly improving. It's about showing up, day after day, and doing the work that matters. It's about building a business that can not only thrive, but one that can thrive without you. And that is the ultimate freedom. That was a summary of the one-page marketing plan by Allan Dib. We've certainly touched on the major themes and the structure of his brilliant system today. But I'll be honest with you, a conversation like this can only ever be a signpost. The real journey happens when you walk the path yourself. The true value is in the details, the specific examples, and the way Allan's voice guides you through each step. This summary is here to help you decide if this is a journey you want to take. If anything we've talked about today has sparked a curiosity in you, if it has made you think differently about what it means to build something, then I encourage you to pick up a copy. Reading it isn't just about gaining knowledge, it's about gaining a clarity and confidence that can genuinely shape your future. The link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found this summary valuable and it gave you a new perspective, please do me a small favor and hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next exploration into another of the foundational books that have shaped the minds of the world's most successful people. Let's keep learning and growing together.